It's usually the user. It's not Zoom. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's call, Friday, April the 7th, 8 a.m. For those of you who celebrate this holiday, happy holidays to you. Good Friday is an important day for some members of our community. So I just want to honor that. Thank you for being here with me. As I was turning everything on, and we were just kind of talking about our experiences of what tired. So we're just talking about being tired, right? And then I was compelled to start the recording. So, and I think part of what happens, for me at least, I had an amazing experience with COVID, and which was I contracted the virus in the first year in November of 2020, and I had been out and about, and so I had a really sore throat and a bit of a headache, and typically once a year I get a really sore throat and a headache around that time. Those are the only two two symptoms, other than being bone tired, and it was like bone tired, and I had experienced that at different times and just thought that I was processing something, because energetically, there we go, as I start to move energetically, when I process things, I can become what I refer to as bone tired. And so I restart to reframe my body feels tired versus what I used to always say, which was I'm tired, right? So it's like, oh, this is interesting. My body's feeling tired, or my head feels achy, or right. So it's less of an ownership from my perspective. So it's verbiage that works really well for me. And it was interesting because I had, up until that moment in time, ignored all of the actual symptoms of COVID and kept myself in a rainbow wrapped bubble, right? It was just like, I'm just going to stay in my zone. And then I was with clients. So I'd had a super, super sore throat. I took what I always take, which is oil of oregano and a little bit of orange juice. I upped my vitamin C, I upped my vitamin D, and I took some colloidal silver. And I was, the symptoms disappeared after 3 days, although my body was still feeling like bone tired. And then I came home after being away with clients. We did a weekend retreat, and Leo, who my son here, was diagnosed with COVID, and I thought, oh, I didn't have the symptoms. And then Rob said to me, well, what are the symptoms? And I'm like, well, I don't even know what they are, because I really just stayed in this the lane of not going there, and not because I was avoiding and didn't believe that it was real, and things like that. Just was like, I'm just going to stay here. And so then I was diagnosed and with COVID, and I had to phone my clients and share with them that I had COVID, and I was around them when I had it and didn't know it. And so one of my clients at the time, her brother is high risk. He's on dialysis. And my other clients that were there, their children were competitive athletes. And it was honestly the first time that I became extremely aware that my actions affect others. And had I had lots of, like, tons of shame and tons of guilt around it, because I wasn't paying attention, right? I wasn't paying attention to the environment. There was a lot of reasons for it, but the gift in it was that, to bringing kind of into awareness the universal law of polarity, which is you can't experience one end of nature without the other. So what I became aware of is that there was no reason to feel guilt or shame, that the opportunity there was to catch my attention, that there is a ripple effect for every action that I have. And that can be one of a positive nature. We just never know who we're impacting or influencing when we show up as our authentic self. And I was showing up as my authentic self, but it was the shadow self, the shadow side of it. It was like catching a virus, and at that time there was still a lot of mystery around, what it was, not what it was, but the effects of it, and things like that. And so, but it was a beautiful gift given to me early on, because I all of a sudden was like, wait a minute, like what I do today has this long-term ripple effect. And I clearly saw that every thought that I had, the emotions that I was feeling, the work that I was doing, my attitude, like again, both on the positive, like great high vibe, and any lower density energy, the impact it would have on others. And so I had this moment where I sat with, really, what does selfish mean? Like, what does self-centered mean? And it was because most of my life, my parents have called me selfish or self-centered. And in my heart, I feel like I'm one of the kindest, gentlest, most giving people out there, right? I'd give the shirt off my back. If someone needs something, I do everything in my power to either myself personally help somebody, or find someone who can. So it never really resonated with me. And then part of what I discovered this last year with having a neurodivergent brain is that one of the consequences can be to not see how our decisions affect others, right? And so, so being again in awareness of the perception that other people have of me, and letting that go. And so I think part of the reason that of the sharing my story with you today is like probably like many layers to it. So one of the layers is um, to bring yourself into, so in the universal laws is called into centered awareness, where you realize that you are the center, the epicenter, right? And everything that you do does have impact and influence on others from a vibrational perspective. And you're not responsible for others. So it's like it's polarized in its thinking. So it's like I understand that from a vibrational perspective, and everything that I do has an effect on someone. And my purpose here, I'm not responsible for how others perceive that. Um, and we're raised, to be responsible for other people's feelings, right? But I can't be responsible for others people's feelings, but I can be responsible for my response versus a reaction. So that's one piece of it. The second piece of it is how often we make decisions so that somebody else is comfortable and benefits, because we don't want to either be perceived as self-centered or selfish, or we've grown up in an environment where do unto others as you want done unto you, or some sort of message about taking care of other people's needs. I do not believe for one moment that God wants me to sacrifice my own personal well-being so that someone else is happy or satisfied or healthy. I believe that every single person is responsible for their own. And Sherry adds, especially as women, absolutely, right? Because for the longest time, the way that society has been set up is as nurturers, we're responsible for the health of the community. Like, I think that was the overall message that was meant. Whereas nurturers were responsible, accountable. I mean, these were accountable, responsible for the overall well-being of the community. And that message got bastardized in the which us taking the meaning as we have to take care of others at our own personal sacrifice of our well-being, right? And I don't believe that was the intention, right? So that becomes, and the message becomes for us is and it goes back to, like, when a plane was going down, what do they tell you? Put your, if you have children, put your own oxygen mask on first before you take care of everybody else. Otherwise, you can't take care of the people like that you're assisting. And so we can take that into our current life and lifestyle and go, what decisions do I need to make in my life and in my business so that I'm taking care of myself first, and then everything unfolds. Let's take that one step further. How can I take care of myself first so that my business can thrive? And so many of us as entrepreneurs sacrifice our personal health, sacrifice our relationships with our spouses, so that we can build a business, which is, we say that, but so that we can make money. So it's disguised, right? It's insidious as hell. And so what happens if we can practice the law of centered awareness, meaning I'm the center, and if this epicenter is full of love and desire and health and wellness and ambition and peace and serenity and all of those high vibe emotions and thoughts, then the ripple effect out of that comes the most amazing. So I'll use for me, it's the most amazing, peaceful, serene, pleasant, exciting, adventurous moments in life, even through the obstacles, even with the obstacles and challenges. The moment I go into sacrificing my health to build a business, or to, or my health for my family, or like that piece, that is a lower density energy. Right? And so what could that look like for all of us if we made a decision of what do we want our life to look like? What do we want all parts of our life to feel like, to be like? And then we imagine that, we visualize that, we imagine it's happening, as if we bring in the different universal laws. We bring in the I am statements, right? I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then insert whatever it is. So for me in my health and wellness, it's like, I'm so happy and grateful now that every single day and every single way, I just get better and better. I'm stronger and stronger, right? I'm so happy and grateful now that every day I find the people who can assist me with this mysterious thing that's going on with my body. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then I am health, I am healthy, I'm healthier. And I just sometimes make up words that don't even make any English sense, right? So bringing these different laws, and I think one of the challenges we have as an intellectual being is we overcomplicate things. We forget the simplicity of emotion, right? We forget the simplicity of having gratitude, the simplicity of utilizing the affirmations, the simplicity of, oh, when we have a yeah, but that's gold, right? So if I said I am a billionaire, I would have a yeah, but behind that, right? Yeah, but you really? Because I don't know what it takes, air quoting that for those of you just listening to the audio, to be a billionaire. I have no clue, right? I don't personally know any billionaires, so I don't have the capacity at this moment in time to wrap my head around what that could look like, right? And so because I can't wrap my head around what that would look like at this moment in time, it's not something that I dream about, right? And so, so I would need to adjust my I am statements, right? So that I could feel the emotion of what was going on. So again, we'll go back to the you're so powerful, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to be on point all the time or fake happiness or fake joy, but it is about experiencing in experiencing the muck and the mire, having awe about the creation of the muck and the mire. I said to someone last night, "You're fucking brilliant," right? Like, look at how powerful you are. Look what you created, right? And then we had this like giggle because it was like, whoa, right? You can't make this shit up, right? And so, but owning your power, right? I am powerful. And then sitting with the discomfort that brings you. Oh, excuse me, because that brings a lot of discomfort for some people, right? Right? But owning it, I am so powerful. I am super powerful. I'm extremely, oh, there we go. Extremely powerful. That one made someone not feel good. Right. Emily, I'm not sure if I've told you, but when energy starts to move, I start to burp. So, okay. I am not being rude. Right. So, and so just owning that, like having these moments. We've been talking a lot this last little bit about your profession and about around your business messaging. And I'm guided to do this because all of you have such a powerful message to share with the world. And not everyone, but a majority of people that come into my like grid work here have such deep purposes, are like want to live their life on purpose, in purpose, with purpose. And the revenue is a hiccup, right? And so when we can come from this place of this law of centeredness, right? And we can emit I'm going to use Karen's word, frequency. Emit the frequency of success. Hang on, that's a writer downer. One moment, please. If you were going to emit this frequency of success, what would that be? What would your frequency of success look like? What would it feel like? Right? What would your environment look like? What would you be doing? Right? After Emily's incredible share yesterday, right? We know where she would be. Right? Who would be with you? Right? And emit that frequency now. Now notice how I didn't say go do that now, right? Because really that's so, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'll just go do that. And then you're like, yeah, I'm sure, and go to the grocery store and say, I spent some time with this person, I hung out with this person, and so, right, so I'd like to use that frequency, right, to pay for my groceries, right? And so there is a disconnect for us as human beings. And so the message for you is, if you be that frequency now, the steps of what to do will unfold. That kind of sounds like a coded message, doesn't it? Be that frequent. I get that. I feel that. Be that frequency now. Emit the frequency of, and then whatever word, right? I heard success, but emit the frequency of success. But it could be emit the frequency of calm, emit the frequency of peace. Excuse me, emit the frequency of love, of belonging, of acceptance, of purpose. Emit the frequency of abundance, prosperity, wealth, commitment. What would the frequency of commitment look like? Truth. Yeah, your truth, right, is what Sherry wrote. And what if we just made the decision? What if it was as simple as we made a decision, and decided at the beginning of the day, today I'm going to emit the frequency of, I'm going to do abundance today. Today I emit the frequency of abundance. And everything that I do, abundance will touch. Everything that I am is abundance. Everything that I stand up for is abundance. Everything that I attract is abundance. And I say attract, and then I've got a question mark, because I'm just thinking of emitting a frequency, right? So, and when you emit a frequency, it sends out abundance. So if I'm doing an abundance frequency, right, is there an attraction piece to it? I don't know. Karen, if you are, you might be with Uncle Art. If you're not with Uncle Art, that's her uncle, by the way, not my uncle. I have a question for you. If she's available, she'll come on. If not, we'll ask the question tomorrow.
I'm almost done.
Okay. Well, I'll nab her. New word, nab her. I'll nab her until you're done. So what's coming to me, so the reason I'm bringing Karen on is Karen actually is the frequency finder, right? So she'll find lower emitting frequencies within your health and wellness in your body. It's a pretty cool process. Her methodology is awesome. And so I just want her input on, if we're emitting a frequency like this, are we attracting, or are we just pinging the frequencies that we would require, right? So it's kind of like what I said weeks ago, which is we don't have to go searching for clients or searching for money, because clients are looking, our ideal client is looking for us right now. Money is seeking us out. We don't have to go look for any of it, right? We don't have to hunt it down, chase it, go to battle. I will forever be grateful to JR for those words, because when he said that, for those of you, JR is an incredible man. He has a company, and I'm part of his networking company. And one day he was talking about the battlefield of business and doing the battle, I think in marketing or something. And I was listening, but I all of a sudden paid attention, because it was like, oh, that is so not what I believe. It was such a cool thing for me, because I understood. I was in the resistance to it. It was like, I totally don't resonate with that language anymore. And how cool was that for me? It was one of the best gifts. I told him that afterwards. I so much appreciate that word, because I used to be in resistance to that word, and now it's not that I'm not in resistance, it's I'm not in resonance with that. And I was in resonance with peaceful, right? Peace. I'm in resonance with peace. So going back to this, if we're emitting this frequency, right, of peacefulness and profitability, how about we emit the frequency of profitability, even above abundance or prosperity? Like, does that not feel light to everybody, or am I just making this? I could just be making this shit up. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Karen, my question is, when you're emitting a frequency, right? So if we decided to emit the frequency of whatever that was, success, profitability, abundance, prosperity, you know how in the law of attraction, they say what you think about, you attract. And so I'm getting like new messages. It's not really about attraction, but that's the word that people are using. So let me go back to my question. If we're emitting the frequency of abundance or prosperity, are we attracting? Like, how does that work, my frequency finder? I'm putting her on the spot, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, cool. It's all right. I'm just running a frequency for Colette right now, so I got time.
Yeah.
Attracting, no.
Right.
Connecting, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like a radio station.
Right.
So if you are going to emit the frequency of 97.2,
yeah,
then other people with 97.2 you're going to find. Right. And then so if you want to shift to a different radio station, cool, no problem. Shift the frequency that you want.
Yeah.
Look for the one that feels good, that's bringing in the music that you feel like in that moment. And then you're going to be able to have, so it's a little bit of like attraction, like attracts like in homeopathics, but it's really more of a connection point versus attraction. People think draws it in.
Yeah. Right.
So when you have the connection point, then you've got the option, the availability to yourself that you can choose to draw it in forward to you, but that is a conscious choice within the frequency. The connection is just a connection. It's
So
what you choose to do with it.
Yeah. So would we then consciously do both? So for example, if I wanted to emit the frequency of frequency of success and emitting that out, and then what you're saying, I think, is that I can make the choice to like also like-minded. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So find it within you.
Yeah.
Like play with it, for lack of other word, in this moment.
Yeah.
But find what that frequency of success or that frequency of peace is. Know it in your body. Mm-hmm. So embody it. And then when you find it, you could even just say, okay, body, cool. Anchor this within the body. Mm-hmm. And then when you anchor it in, then you get a sense of actually what this feels like for yourself. So then when you send the frequency out, you emit the frequency and it connects, you're going to have that awareness in your body as well.
Right.
And then you have the choice as to what, if anything, you would like to do with that. You don't have to do anything. So the more you become aware of, comfortable with, and recognize the frequency within you, then the more it will actually start to emit on its own without intention. It will just become a part of you. We have more struggles emitting and being and having this as a part of us for the, what we call maybe more positive frequencies. Mm-hmm. We've developed and become very comfortable with knowing and being and receiving frequencies of sadness or depression or anxiety or these other ones. And so now, you can do it because you can all relate to at least one of those words.
Yeah.
So that means you can also do it for any other word, any other frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got to go close down, Uncle Art. I'll be back.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I so much appreciate that. Anybody feel that mic drop moment? Like, that's huge. If at this moment in time, it doesn't make sense to you, because I feel some confusion from some people, it's okay. Because it's a really I'll say an out there esoteric type of thought. So yeah, for those of you who are feeling this, let's just kind of recap. So we can emit whatever frequency we choose to, right? So we don't have to, like my mentor used to say, we don't go, oh, I have to work really hard at worrying. We just right? We just kind of worry, right? I don't have to work really hard on like, oh shit, how am I going to pay that bill? It's just there, right? You're emitting a frequency of worry, doubt, fear, anger, frustration, like any of those lower emotions. And we've been programmed that for so many years. It's easy to emit that frequency. If we choose a different frequency, we would need to make a decision of what that frequency felt like for us. So not what it does, like not what success is, or necessarily prosperity is, or being prosperous is, like meaning the doing part of it, but how does it feel? What's the frequency, the vibration of it? And so then we emit the frequency of what, so for me, I'll just say I'll say success at the moment, right? Emit the frequency of success, right? And so sometimes you might go into the recesses of your memory and remember a moment where you felt success. So it could start with that, right? So Karen is saying is we emit the frequency and then we feel it in our body, meaning we embody it. And then we're sending out this frequency. And so she said, then what happens is it will connect with the similar frequency. It will connect with success in this case, and the feeling of success. So there's like a radio station, 95.5, I think is the country and western. So I'm going to tune into country and western. I hear country and western, tuned into the frequency of country. I'm going to tune into rock and roll. I hear rock and I connect with rock and roll, right? I'm going to tune into success, emit the frequency of success, right? I'm going to embody what success the frequency is, what it feels like. I imagine it. I send that frequency out. It connects with other people who are, at that level of like frequency of success, have also sent out the desire for success, right? So then all of a sudden, like attracts like. That's what Karen's talking about, right? And it's a conscious choice at first, but then as we embody it, it's just who we are. All of a sudden, we are peace. Like I am peace. I am peace, right? And so everything. Now that doesn't mean I don't have bad days. It doesn't mean I don't lose my shit, right? It doesn't mean that that I'm not sad or that I'm happy and joyful and like joy all the time. No, no, right? What it does mean though is that I have that frequency that I unconsciously now, right, send out. And what I love this, as Karen is saying, is we can make decisions. What if we want to do with it, if anything? Meaning, for me, I guess, for me, and Karen, if you mean something differently, please correct me. For me, I am thinking that would be like inspired action. I would feel like I needed to take action on something. And for me, I say inspired action, because if I'm emitting fear, I do feel like I need to take action, but it's based in fear. Oh no, I don't have enough clients. I better go try to, find clients, sell something, create a new program, all of the things that I've done in my past, right? Yes, please.
Yes, but maybe not quite the way people think when they hear you say inspired action, because that can mean that you actually need to do.
Perfect. Yeah.
Inspired action, like in fear, can be, okay, cool. What is this telling me? Yeah. And just sitting with it can be an inspired action, versus you need to actively change a thought pattern, get up and get out of a situation because this restaurant's dangerous, whatever it might be. Right. But it can just inspired action can just be in awareness, acknowledging it and saying, okay, cool. I get it. I got it. And then that can be done too. So it can go as far as somebody wants, but simple thought is enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Sherry, there's a mic drop. Mic drop moment, everyone. Wow. Right? Profound. Who knew this is where we were going? Oh, I love what I do. Right? I am so blessed. I am so blessed. So well, going all, is it James Bond? No, Mission Possible. I am not going to say impossible. Mission Possible today is, what frequency would you like to emit today? Right? Make a decision of what that could be. Play around with it. Oh, I'm going to have so much fun with that today. Right? So much fun.
Slightly side note, but maybe relevant. Like yesterday, I had headshots, like a whole bunch of pictures taken for headshots. So in choosing them, I looked at the frequency that the pictures were giving, chose different frequencies in the different pictures, because then that has a different use.
Right. I love that. Yes.
Versus which one shows less wrinkles.
Yeah.
right? Or or which one, whatever, right?
Yes.
From that perspective, which was a way I would have looked at. I've only done this twice, but the first time I did, that was more the way I looked at it, like,
Yeah.
ugh, like which picture will I actually allow somebody to see?
Right. Yeah.
Versus, all right, what does this picture tell?
Yeah.
What's the frequency of it? And then how would I use that frequency?
Beautiful. I love
Right.
that. And
So,
so, yeah, that is like that changes the perspective. And for those of you who this is kind of like an out there thought process right now, like that's okay. This is a process, right? And so a skill set that can be, there's like the gift side of what Karen does with frequencies, and then there's there all of us can develop the skill set to, you know, to look at frequencies or to feel frequencies. Like I think for me, probably I wouldn't see a frequency, I might feel into a frequency, because each one of us has an ability, the four clairs, right? Clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. Oh yeah, the two like escaped me. The clairs. Anyway, Um, so we each have that ability, you know, to do that. So it's just about developing it, like every other muscle that we have, like developing our muscles. So thank you so much, everyone. This Karen, thank you for your contribution today. So much appreciate you and sharing that. That was like brilliant. As soon as I started talking about it, I was like, oh, now I get to call upon on Karen's zone of genius as the frequency finder. That's what her and I talked about on the other day as we were going through her methodology. She is the frequency finder. That is her like the bomb. TheBomb.com is her ability to just like, oh, and there it is, right? So yeah, it is mind blowing like that for me working with her. All right, lovelies. I love you all so very much. Have an incredible day. I'm here all weekend, so come hang out and we'll spend some time together if you have time. Mwah.